Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest of the Overboard Network, a Below Deck podcast. We're back with episode 14, a Below Deck med titled In a Bind. I like the kink aspect there, Sean.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah, in this week's episode, we say goodbye to a crew member that honestly I won't remember. Bring on his replacement. Natasha's now off with her on again, off again boyfriend. And we had some guests that I thought could have packed a little lighter, considering their typical choice in wardrobe.
Mm,
Sean, let's just jump right into I think what is the big story of the episode. So we knew Jason was leaving, but now we get to be introduced to his replacement in Reed. So just wanted to get what were your initial thoughts of Reed here now that we're going to have for, I don't know, it could be 3 to 6 episodes.
yeah, Jack, if you actually don't mind, when Jason was walking off, did you feel any sadness? Because I weirdly did, and I wasn't expecting that. Maybe it
Uh,
was the music, I don't know, but
it, yeah, I mean, Below Deck makes you feel all type of emotions. I didn't feel any sadness though. I mean, I have nothing against the guy, but I honestly think he made it seem like there needs to be an outside person. Like there can't be 4 people that just work together. There has to be 3 people that work together and then an outsider. And that outsider is supposed to be feel shitty about the situation. So and I didn't love that he actually gave 100% in the last charter and was fine. So you know what? If we lose to Jason, I didn't have high expectations for somebody else coming in, but I thought Reed was at least funny.
yeah, well, he's kind of Jason-like, right? Because he also makes weird jokes and no one else finds funny at inappropriate times that
Yeah.
maybe rub people the wrong way. So we'll figure out more with him. They always need one American guy on the show. I get it. It broadcasted in America. I don't know. Is he going to gel with the cast? I think he does a little bit, but he's not going to hook up with Courtney or anything. It's not. He's not going to be a home run, no matter how you slice it.
I I feel like he's if I could pull back from latest sailing yacht,
Mm,
he reminds me of like a poor man's Barnaby a little bit.
an
Came in
American
toward the
Barnaby.
end. Yeah, Barnaby's actually kind of funny. And I'm not saying Reed's not, just I haven't seen it yet necessarily. But I do think that there's going to be this aspect that it's well, he's better than Jason, and they're going to like him just because of that reason.
Yeah, I
You
think.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's seems like a nicer person than Jason, or he's trying hard. There's that was the thing with Jason. He made no effort to get to know anyone else in the boat. So yeah, the little sadness I felt, I don't know. It's just Below Deck. You get to know these people a little bit. You see
Yep.
them outside of work and stuff, and it's there's always a little connection there. But yep, that's it. That's the end of Jason.
Yeah. So I still always have to look up his name, honestly. So not trying to kill a guy, just not a memorable performance on Below Deck.
In any way, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. So Sean, moving past the shuffling a cast here, let's kind of get into the end of last episode where Storm's conversation concluded with Z and Courtney about who's going to be lead deckhand. Obviously, Nat started grilling him about it. Why would you do this on the night out? Everyone's having a good time. Z's crushed. I can see why that made Storm feel super shitty. But at the same time, maybe it wasn't the right time to do that, right?
I like how then Z or I'm sorry, Storm runs to the bathroom and is all upset. And, Z has to chase after him and try to calm him down. And Z goes to the
Yeah,
camera and
which
is it's kind of weird. I was peasant for promotion by Storm, but I'm the one consoling him now. Um,
yeah,
Couple of things Storm goes home and no one seems to care. I
that's
think
fair.
if that's Gary or if that's Daisy, it kills the night. Storm
Oh,
goes home. Everyone's like, "All right, we're going to a club now."
we're just John Tapperding shutting it down if Gary
Yeah.
goes home. I'd be
Oh yeah.
scared. I'm scared for his health at that point. No, but Z does say he said it's not getting the promotion was soul destroying, and while he's happy for Courtney, he's pretty bummed. But he said the booze helped. So they do have a good night. Everybody except our best friend Natasha obviously has a good night.
Yeah.
So why don't we go into a little bit about her? Man, I just think like she is just like a cringe watch most of the time. Like I'm watching this and it's like, yeah, everyone's enjoying this night out, and then you're like, oh, let me go FaceTime my boyfriend. Um, and of course Dave comes over
Bad
and
timing by
she says she's
Dave.
talking to her dogs. Yeah, bad timing by Dave, but like you can't really like blame him for like someone he knows has been like he knows Natasha's been like struggling, right? So like if he sees her off in the corner, he's like, hey, come on, come dance with your friends, yada yada. Well, doesn't work out well. I can't tell if she was actually talking to her dogs or talking to her boyfriend. Maybe she calls.
Who maybe is real.
Yeah,
He texted her
who
earlier in the episode, "Tell me you want to be with me. I'm just so desperate." That was a thing. That was a text message she got from this guy, which
am
sounds like
I
something a person would say.
am I crazy to think that there is no boyfriend and Natasha just wants to seem like adored by somebody at home?
Or
Am I
because she's
crazy?
or because she's always had a boyfriend, she's inventing one for
Yep.
in the for while her and Dave are on a break. Maybe it's that.
Could
It's
be.
like a weird coping mechanism
Yeah.
to keep her like she always needs a boyfriend. John, I
It's
based on these text messages, I don't. There's something off. There's something up.
I don't I don't think this person exists. I'll tell you that. I can't imagine somebody's actually sending these text messages. They're not real. Uh but no, so she breaks down and then Kyle has to go like console her and like honestly, Kyle does a really good job consoling her, I thought. Like just like building her up, but at the same time, Natasha's so in her head, she's not gonna like listen to any of this. Like she keeps
Yeah.
it together for this episode, but like I feel like next time they start drinking, it's just a nightmare.
Well, I wonder next time if her and Dave are back together. I don't want to step.
I don't want this to happen to Dave. Dave is living his best life post Natasha, and he is honestly one of my favorite characters of this season.
He's one of my favorite chefs ever. And yeah, he
Yeah.
killed it with the food. But end of the episode, not to jump ahead, he sees Natasha dressed up, and I don't know. He gets a little weak.
I mean, I get it. I feel like looking
I do
like
too. Yeah.
yeah, like I get it, right? So, anyway, that's Natasha. We'll probably get into some other reasons why we don't like her, but so Sean, let's talk about the guests a little bit here. Um, kind of weird, I think. Not that their choice in lifestyle is weird, but like they just, I'm not sure like what is the relationships between everybody here.
I I
Like,
watched
there's two
some.
guys, and then are there like
Yeah, there's two co-primaries, right? Both
yep.
were in fedoras when they go on. They've both been on the show before. I don't remember their names or anything about like what their job was. I don't think they're
One of
photographers, are they?
No, one of them was a successful venture capitalist who retired at 59, which like I feel like that's like a just a good age to retire.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other one was a personal trainer.
Jen, I love that it's a good age to retire. That's like every Charles Schwab commercial. There's like a good looking 59-year-old guy with
Yeah.
like a wife that's like 45 that are like
Yep.
they're going sailing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but apparently they became weird photographers.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Who are these girls? They're not
That's
like they're not their friends. These are like models they hired, right?
yeah, that's why I think it's weird. I'm just like it's just weird because I can't wrap my head around like what their relationships are really. So um I don't know. We apparently these guests in like previous years like needed like vibrators charged.
I don't
Like
know.
I
This is the most European episode of the show
yeah.
because all the casual nudity and stuff. I mean, hey, I don't know.
I'll
Apparently,
say I don't know, Sean. I'll say this: like, if your kink wants to be like BDSM and you're a um dominatrix, like, listen, I think that there's people in the world that like that, and that's great. But I think it's like kind of like imposing to ask like a crew to be like, can you throw a BDSM party?
Mm,
Which, like, I mean, I at what point like do you draw the line at, because like people get off to this, right? Like people get
yeah.
like aroused by this. And so it's like, what if somebody came on the boat and was like, I really like feet. So if everyone on your crew could not wear socks and shoes, that would be great. Like, at what point are we drawing the line here? Like, and I don't mean for like TV and like, I'm sure everybody on the cast is fine with it, but like, I would have thought there would have been like maybe like a conversation being like, hey, crew, are you okay throwing basically like, and it's not a sex party, but like, it's kind of like a party that has like a really strong like sex impact, right?
Mm. I mean, I would say a few things. It's Europe. They're a little bit less uptight, but also I don't know, man. On these boats, all the sexual harassment and all that stuff doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
It never has. And there's been like a couple of reunions where Annie's like really pressing them, like, "Hey, wasn't that wrong?" And there's like, probably like it's international waters or whatever. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
really exist. You're right though. Like, especially for Reed, he just hops out. And he's from the Bible Belt. He's from Bama, and he has to like be a part of it. Yeah, little.
Yeah.
I don't,
And I'll say one last thing. I thought it was so funny when like Sandy's going over like the itinerary. She's like, yeah, these are the guests that needed their like vibrators charged last season. Like, one of them needs to have a spotless cabinet at all times. Also, they want to have a BDSM party. And then she closes it being like, this is going to be an awesome charter. And I honestly think if I go back to like every charter meeting, does she just say this is going to be an awesome charter? Like, that's just like regardless of what
yeah,
they're actually asking for, regardless of how much these guys are going to be a pain in the ass, which these guys honestly weren't. But
sure. Her being positive all the time, people hate. Like at
yeah,
least Captain Lee will be like he'll be grumpy sometimes. Like people relate to that because like it's like
yeah.
yeah, you're at work.
Could you imagine Captain Lee getting a preference sheet and they're like, we want to have a BDSM party?
He might just say no. I have no idea.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
You got to say yes to everything, I guess, on
Yeah,
these boats.
but again, we're not BDSM shaming anybody.
No,
We're just
we're
saying
thinking
like,
out loud.
yeah, I'm just kind of like thinking like you're kind of asking like 10 strangers to be like, throw me this type of party. I just don't know. I mean, hell, you got Reed coming in. This guy feels like he's right out of the womb. So
Tugboat guy,
yeah,
Reed,
tugboat guy. Hey,
like
Reed.
Eddie. So
Yeah.
good
Hey,
company.
Reed, thanks for coming onto the boat. Also, what size leather BDSM mask do you wear? Thank you. So
Yeah.
interesting look for him. Also, Sean, I had a question about our friend Reed. So they said he was jet lagged. So I know Z had to go through quarantine, but I maybe Reed didn't. I'm guessing it's just where they came from, but it's just weird that like Z had to go through 2 weeks of it. Maybe it's South Africa. I don't know, but
Yeah,
didn't look like.
that might be a good point. South Africa was really strict with COVID stuff
Yeah,
until very recently. Like they were the
got it.
strictest country, I think, especially like with the Delta variant and Omicron last year. So maybe that's it. Because this is all taking place in the fall of 2021.
Yeah,
So maybe Europe kind of peels that back quicker than the US did. I don't really remember.
yeah. Okay. Um. All right, and then Sean, I guess like the other biggest thing to talk about, and obviously they go on the boat, they go on, what is it like? They go on a hike, which
Naked
I know
hike.
it's like take photos. They got naked half the time. Um, I thought Storm kind of lucked into what was it, taking photos of like these women were like they just got completely naked and was like, can you take
Or
photos of us?
on a weird chair.
Yeah,
That's Vince.
I
What's
mean this
that chair
season,
for? Just to
dude,
get a nice view.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean this season's just coming up storm. I'll tell you. But you know what? They actually, I mean, they seem like nice people. They're